Well, hello beautiful souls, it's your girl Janae coming at you with another video, and as you can tell by the title, this video is going to be all about the brand new release from Beyonce, Say Noir. So if you guys are interested in seeing what my thoughts are on this fragrance, my first impressions, and kind of like a detailed review because this is day 2 of me wearing this fragrance, then go ahead and just keep on watching. So if you're new to my channel, hello again. My name is Janae. Welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for clicking back onto another video. I truly appreciate you guys' support. So if you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and join the family, and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos from moi. Now let's hop right in. So get you your beverage of choice, water, wine, tea, coffee, it does not matter. Get whatever you want. Let's sit down and let's have a little chat, shall we? Yesterday, I received this in the mail, sprayed it on, wore it, took a shower, then got ready for a date night. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert my first impressions around here. Okay, so y'all don't understand how excited I am. I have the fragrance here. This bottle is so cute, and I was so nervous that this would feel cheap, not even gonna lie. It is plasticky. I was afraid that this fragrance would feel like plastic, and this little holder that it has definitely feels like plastic. It's not even really heavy. However, the bottle is okay. The bottle is pretty okay. The cap is not weighted at all. I want to see what this atomizer is talking about, and then we can get into the fragrance. Okay, cool. This actually reminds me of other fragrances in my collection, but I can find those fragrances. Y'all see I have a lot going on. I can find what fragrance or fragrances this reminds me of, and we can do like a comparison video. But let me go ahead and get this on skin because this is genuinely my first impressions. The atomizer is a pressurized atomizer, which means you can control how much or how little sprays come out. Now, off first impressions, the way it smells on paper and the way it smells on skin is completely different. I can tell y'all that right now. For me personally, I get a sweet, citrusy fruitiness. I also get a little bit of warmth. I get this floral aspect as well. I really get the rose. That's what I get. I don't get much jasmine. Now, when it comes to base notes and things, I don't get any of that. So once we come back from our date, I can tell you kind of more of the wear of the fragrance. But based off first impressions and like the first, you know, top notes, a little bit of the mid, I can definitely get those. So I did a video back in July when the fragrance was slightly announced for the pre-order list, and thanks to my wife, she got me the fragrance. Thanks, babe. And I did a video, the notes were out there, and I kind of gave you guys my thoughts on what I thought it would smell like. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this does not smell like what I thought it was going to so far. It is a lot more bright, fresh, and citrusy. I wasn't expecting that clementine note to be so prominent, but this fragrance opens up with some clementine. You also get some honey in the top, and then as the fragrance dries down, you get some rose and you get some jasmine. And then in the deep dry down, that's where you get that namby and myrrh along with that amber. So as of right now, having it on for a few minutes, I'm definitely getting that clementine, I'm definitely getting that rose, and I'm getting that honey, but just a little bit. To me, the honey is kind of like a floral honey. It's not really going too deep or dark at this point. So yeah, we're gonna see how Say Noir does. But so far, this fragrance isn't what I expected it to be. I was expecting this to be like a fall winter scent because that's when it's being released. But so far, I'm thinking this is kind of like, I don't know, spring, early summer. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting. We'll see how I feel about this whole contraption. But overall, I really like the way the bottle looks. It's one of the most unique bottles that I have in my collection. And I don't think I have any silver bottles in my collection. So yeah, let me go ahead and get out of here, get everybody ready to go. And I'm going to give you guys my final check-in in about 4 or 5 hours. I'll see you in a bit. So those were my first impressions. Now I'm really gonna give you guys some in-depth thoughts because I have some thoughts, baby. I just wanna say, I really thought about this fragrance, how I feel about it, the wear of it, how did it make me feel, etc. I'm gonna stand by majority of what I said in my first impressions because if you guys don't know, I love fragrances. I love the artistry of perfumery. I just love smelling good, feeling good, but I also really enjoy the process of how you can tell a story with the fragrance, how you can evoke emotions and feelings and have scent memories tied to them. I just love fragrances. And now I can confidently say that this fragrance is unlike anything that I expected. This is not what I expected, and I low-key called out what I thought this would smell like kind of as like an afterthought, I would honestly say that this fragrance is for one, the Beehive. Like if you love Beyonce, if you support anything she does, get this in your collection. This is going to be a moment. Like this is a moment, this is a vibe. This is all about Renaissance. If you went to her concert, which I didn't, but I saw so much footage and I'm so happy y'all had a good time. I low-key wish I would have went, but if you guys went to the concert, this can be something that reminds you of that experience, and I think that's beautiful. It can remind you of this time, the album, all that good stuff. But as someone who reviews fragrances and who has over 300 bottles, this isn't anything groundbreaking. And I love Beyonce. I'm always gonna support her. Y'all see I have a bottle right here. It's not what I expected. It's nice for what it is, but I honestly would say this situation here, I don't like this. Like I genuinely don't like this. This is not like a heavy duty plastic or anything. It's very flimsy. Also the bottle, it is slightly weighted, but this cap is very much so a light plastic. I love the pressurized atomizer like I mentioned before. The design of the bottle is very unique and all that good stuff. As far as quality, as far as feeling like I have a substantial bottle, I don't feel like I have that. Now this box that the fragrance came in is very sturdy. It's very, very heavy duty, and I think that they put a lot of thought into like transporting the fragrance. However, I do feel like the bottle is a bit cheap. I know, I'm sorry, I just had to say it. I have to call it out. I love Beyonce. I'm telling y'all, I love her. I support her music. I love everything about her. I've always been a fan, but just coming to you guys as a fragrance reviewer, I'm reviewing her fragrance like I would any other scent, and for me to have spent, well, for wifey to have spent $160 on this, I would say that this is not as luxurious as I would want it to be, but you know, it is what it is. The 50 ml bottle for $160 is pretty steep, and I would just say, as far as just someone who enjoys perfumery, who enjoys indie houses, niche houses, luxury fragrances, designer fragrances, this does not give me $160 pricing for a 50 ml bottle. I'm just being real. So starting off with the fragrance composition, how it smells, how did it develop over time, how did the perfume smell on me? So in the opening, of course, you get the citrusy nature from that clementine. You do get this honey nuance, but to me it's more of a floral honey. It's not like a deep dark honey or like even just a traditional sweet gourmand honey. This is giving very much so floral. And then when the fragrance dries down, you get a lot more of that rose. The jasmine starts to come through in sort of a fresh way. So the rose to me is more of a fully bloomed rose, which is my favorite personally. And then with the jasmine adds that fresh white floral aspect. It's very clean, complements the top so well. And then in the deep dry down, of course, you get that myrrh with that amber. Now for me personally, I feel as though the amber and the myrrh kind of gives off a vanillic quality. It kind of comes off vanillic and it complements the honey. So in the deep dry down, you do get that very warm, resinous, balsamic quality from the amber and the myrrh. It is not overpowering, it is not too strong, it is not masculine whatsoever. I definitely feel like this fragrance is a more feminine leaning fragrance. If a gentleman does like florals and honey and a little bit of a resinous quality, then yes, this is great. But this is not a woody amber. It doesn't have really woody facets at all to me. It just really has that sweet, warm, vanillic type of quality. So I think it complements, you know, the honey very well, adds sweetness to the fragrance, which is very nice in my opinion. Now on my wife, she wore this as well. It was a little bit more warm and resinous on her skin, not even woody, but just more warm and resinous, kind of like a vanilla, but not as sweet, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I get from resinous balsamic notes, especially amber specifically. Amber can go a little bit vanillic, but it also can go a little bit woody as well. Myrrh can kind of have the same aspect. It can kind of even go a little smoky, and to me, I didn't experience that on my skin. I had more of a floral experience versus my wife, who had more of a warm, resinous, sweet experience, but not overly sweet, if that makes sense. Now, performance. Okay. Ooh, I really hope I don't get canceled for this. This fragrance did not perform how I wanted it to, unfortunately. And I'm an oversprayer. I overspray every single time for most fragrances if they're not to beast mode. But this fragrance, I did over 15 sprays. I normally do 10 to 20 sprays depending on the fragrance, the vibe, what's happening. For this one, I did about 15 last night, and today I did my traditional 20. And I smell the fragrance, but I have to really like get in there. This is a very intimate scent. Like, this is a sexy scent to me, but it's more of like the girl next door. It's more of a pretty girl. It's more of like a girl who's pretty, who's wearing something for date night, but like it's not too heavy. It's very, very put together and sophisticated, if that makes sense. However, I was expecting more depth from the fragrance. I was expecting a little bit more smokiness, a little bit more of a resinous quality, something that's a little bit more daring, something that's a little bit more bold. With that juxtaposition from the opening being citrusy and sweet with the honey and then the florals, I thought that the dry down would be a little bit different, but it all seemed to flow cohesively as far as being delicate and light and airy, but still a little sweet, a little warm, a little floral. So you got this elegant, sophisticated vibe. But I would say that this fragrance was genuinely created for the mass population, not necessarily for frag heads, but not necessarily for like newbies to the fragrance game, just kind of like that middle ground, people who like to smell good, who want to smell elegant and sophisticated and elevated and have a piece of Beyoncé. Now with that performance, right, with that projection being more of a skin scent, more of an intimate scent, definitely not an arm's length projection at all, definitely more close to the skin, a lot more intimate, which there's a time and a place for that, and I'm not hating on this. I'm definitely keeping this fragrance in my collection, duh. I do feel like this would perform beautifully year round, so this could definitely be someone's signature scent. And as far as the sillage goes, the sillage is nice, but it's not necessarily leaving behind a beautiful trail or like a heavy trail to where people are gonna run up to you and ask you what you're wearing, unless you really, really overspray your clothing, everything that you have on, even your hair, which I don't really recommend. But yeah, overall, I would say that the sillage is a little bit minimal. It has like a very minimal sillage, which is nice. Again, there's a time and a place for everything. Overall, I just would rate this fragrance to be a little bit more of a delicate scent, more of an airy scent, more of a transparent scent. This isn't a very hefty, meaty, hearty fragrance. This isn't one that I feel like, you know, 1 or 2 sprays is gonna get you by. This is one you definitely need to spray a little bit more of, especially if you want to smell it on yourself. If you're the type of person to do 3, 4, 5 sprays and you call it a day, maybe you should double that so you can smell it throughout the day and just get whiffs of it or whatnot. And if you want other people to smell you, spray it behind you, you know, spray it on your clothes. Just kind of go to town with this one. If you want to be the best smelling person in the room, that's what I recommend with this fragrance in particular. Now, if I had to give this fragrance an overall rating, you know, 1 out of 5 stars or 0 out of 5 stars, I would give this fragrance a 3 out of 5 because 1, it's Beyoncé, of course. 2, I don't have a fragrance bottle that looks like this. I love the experience. I love the allure, the waiting. I love the mystery, like just the whole situation and kind of where this fragrance lands in history. I know I'm being dramatic, but I just love that portion of it. When it comes to the actual fragrance and the composition, it does smell nice. However, it does remind me of a Jo Malone fragrance, but this gives me those vibes. It gives me that, you know, that sweet floral, feminine, just very girly, effortless girl next door type of vibe. And like I said, it's a time and a place for that, and I'm definitely here for that, but I'm just telling y'all what vibes it gives, how it makes me feel in general. So yeah, I would give Say Noir a 3 out of 5. I do enjoy the fragrance. I do think it smells good, and my wife doesn't really like fragrances that I like, so the fact that she likes this one is a plus. This is probably one that I'll pull out if we're just chilling or whatnot, because I know she enjoys it and it won't really bother her like that. Like some of my others with oud and incense and all that, she don't like those. She's not a fan. So that's all I have for you guys today. What did you think about today's video? And do you own Say Noir? Are you going to pick this up if you have not already? What are your thoughts? I would absolutely love to know in the comments below. Also, let me know what your scent of the day is today, because I would absolutely love to know. I love seeing what you guys are wearing and like jotting down fragrances I've never heard of before, because yeah, it's like it's a vibe. It's a vibe. I love talking to you guys. So leave me your scent of the day down below as well. If you are new to my channel, I do quiz you guys at the end of all of my videos just to see who's been rocking with me into the end or whatnot. And for today's video, let's leave the honey emoji so I know you guys made it until the end. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next one.